Jean-Honoré Fragonard was a French painter and printmaker whose late Rococo manner was distinguished by remarkable facility, exuberance, and hedonism. One of the most prolific artists active in the last decades of the Ancien Régime, Fragonard produced more than 550 paintings, of which only 5 are dated. Among his most popular works are genre paintings conveying an atmosphere of intimacy and veiled eroticism. Biography. Jean-Honoré Fragonard was born at Grasse, Alpes-Maritimes, the son of François Fragonard, a glover, and Françoise Petit. Fragonard was articled to a Paris notary when his father's circumstances became strained through unsuccessful speculations, but showed such talent and inclination for art that he was taken at the age of 18 to François Boucher. Boucher recognized the youth's rare gifts but, disinclined to waste his time with one so inexperienced, sent him to Chardin's atelier. Fragonard studied for 6 months under the great Luminist, then returned more fully equipped to Boucher, whose style he soon acquired so completely that the master entrusted him with the execution of replicas of his paintings. Though not yet a pupil of the Academy, Fragonard gained the Prix de Rome in 1752 with a painting of Jeroboam sacrificing to the golden calf. But before proceeding to Rome he continued to study for 3 years under Charles-André Van Loo. In the year preceding his departure he painted the Christ washing the feet of the Apostles, now at Grasse Cathedral. On the 17th of September 1756, he took up his abode at the French Academy in Rome, then presided over by Charles-Joseph Natoire. While at Rome, Fragonard contracted a friendship with a fellow painter, Hubert Robert. In 1760, they toured Italy together, executing numerous sketches of local scenery. It was in these romantic gardens, with the fountains, grottos, temples and terraces, that Fragonard conceived the dreams which he was subsequently to render in his art. He also learned to admire the masters of the Dutch and Flemish schools, imitating their loose and vigorous brush strokes. Added to this influence was the deep impression made upon his mind by the florid sumptuousness of Giovanni Battista Tiepolo, whose works he had an opportunity to study in Venice before he returned to Paris in 1761. In 1765 his causes as Cavalier secured his admission to the Academy. It was made the subject of a pompous eulogy by Diderot, and was bought by the king, who had it reproduced at the Gobelins factory. Hitherto Fragonard had hesitated between religious, classic and other subjects, but now the demand of the wealthy art patrons of Louis XV's a pleasure-loving and licentious court turned him definitely towards those scenes of love and voluptuousness with which his name will ever be associated, and which are only made acceptable by the tender beauty of his color and the virtuosity of his facile brushwork. Such works include The Blind Man's Blah, Serment de Mort, Le Verrou, Le Culbute, Le Chemise Enlevée, and Le Scarpillet, and his decorations for the apartments of Mme. du Barry and the dancer Madeleine Guimard. The portrait of Denis Diderot has recently had its attribution to Fragonard called into question. A lukewarm response to these series of ambitious works induced Fragonard to abandon Rococo and to experiment with neoclassicism. He married Marie-Anne Gerard, herself a painter of miniatures, on the 17th of June 1769 and had a daughter, Rosalie Fragonard, who became one of his favorite models. In October 1773, he again went to Italy with Pierre-Jacques Onésime Bergeret de Grandcourt and his son, Pierre-Jacques Bergeret de Grandcourt. In September 1774, he returned through Vienna, Prague, Dresden, Frankfurt and Strasbourg. Back in Paris, Marguerite Gerard, his wife's 14-year-old sister, became his pupil and assistant in 1778. In 1780, he had a son, Alexandre Évariste Fragonard, who eventually became a talented painter and sculptor. The French Revolution deprived Fragonard of his private patrons. They were either guillotined or exiled. The neglected painter deemed it prudent to leave Paris in 1790 and found shelter in the house of his cousin Alexandre Morbit at Grasse, which he decorated with a series of decorative panels known as the Les Progrès de l'amour dans le cœur d'une jeune fille. Originally painted for Château du Barry, Fragonard returned to Paris early in the 19th century, where he died in 1806, almost completely forgotten. Reputation. For half a century or more he was so completely ignored that Wilhelm Lübke's 1873 art history volume omits the very mention of his name. Subsequent re-evaluation has confirmed his position among the all-time masters of French painting. The influence of Fragonard's handling of local color and expressive, confident brushstroke on the Impressionists cannot be overestimated. Fragonard's paintings, alongside those of François Boucher, seem to sum up an era. One of Fragonard's most renowned paintings is The Swing, also known as The Happy Accidents of the Swing, an oil painting in the Wallace collection in London. It is considered to be one of the masterpieces of the Rococo era and is Fragonard's best-known work. The painting portrays a young gentleman concealed in the bushes, observing a lady on swing being pushed by her spouse, who is standing in the background, hidden in the shadows, as he is unaware of the affair. As the lady swings forward, the young man gets a glimpse under her dress. According to Charles Collet's memoirs, a young nobleman had requested this portrait of his mistress seated on a swing. He asked first Gabriel François Doyen to make this painting of him and his mistress. Not comfortable with this frivolous work, Doyen refused and passed on the commission to Fragonard. Value of works. On December 5, 2013, in Bonham's New Bond Street, London, sale rooms, the Fragonard portrait of François-Henri Duc d'Harcourt sold for £17,106,500 sterling, US $28,058,081, setting a world record price for the artist at auction. The previous record was £5,300,000 for a painting sold in London in 1999. The sum paid is also the highest price for an old master painting sold at auction anywhere in the world in 2013. Bonham's a sale of paintings and sculpture from the renowned collection of the German philanthropist, the late Dr. Gustav Rau, raised more than £19 million, with the proceeds benefiting the foundation of the German Committee for UNICEF, for the Children of the World. Works. Jean-Honoré Fragonard. Recent exhibitions. Consuming Passion, Fragonard's Allegories of Love, Sterling and Francine Clark Art Institute, Williamstown, MA, from 28 October 2007 to the 21st of January 2008. Fragonard, Jacques Martin-André Museum, Paris, from the 3rd of October 2007 to the 13th of January 2008. Fragonard, Origines et Influences. De Rembrandt au XXIe Cyclique Hexaforum, Barcelona, from the 10th of November 2006 to the 11th of February 2007. Les Fragonard de Besançon, Musée des Beaux-Arts et d'Archéologie de Besançon, for the 8th of December 2006 to the 2nd of April 2007. Official website. Jean-Honoré Fragonard, Dessins du Louvre, Musée du Louvre, Paris, from the 3rd of December 2003 to the 8th of March 2004. Fragonard Amoro, Musée du Luxembourg, Paris, from the 16th of September 2015 to the 24th of January 2016. Official website.